Good morning! Guess what we have today? Of course, we're back on the living room floor. We're back with more random things from my old room. One of these is going to be a callback from the last video, and I'm going to start with that item. So again, if you didn't watch the last video, I will link it below, but I have been raiding my old room at my mom and dad's house for things that I used to own and apparently still do. So in the last video, I showed that cute little Popple puzzle that I was gonna do, but then I noticed my mom had written on it that it was missing 2 pieces. So I was like, I don't want to do a puzzle that's missing pieces, which is gonna be weird when we get to an item later. But our first item is my stuffed Popple. Amazingly, still wearing her little like booties, still has her bib. I think the hat is attached. Amazing. Tail is a rattle. Item that is missing is, I believe, she used to have a baby bottle. I don't know this Popple's name anymore. But what I should have explained in the last video is what a Popple is and why it's called a Popple. I honestly don't really know what it is. Like, as far as what kind of species this is. It's got different colored ears. It's got pink hair. But what it does, it kind of like rolls into this little pouch. See, it says right there, Popples. It rolls into this little pouch. And I think they could hop around like this. There was a cartoon, of course. It was the 80s. So you'd have your cartoon, you'd have your like toys that went with it. So yeah, so this is my stuffed Popple. The tag says it's from 1986. That sounds about right. Looks like it could use a little bit of a washing. I'm gonna have to look up her name. I probably should have done that before this video, but I didn't. As it was hard enough to get this out of a box in a bag in the basement. Yeah, this was not actually in my room. This was in my basement. But yeah, so that is what a Popple is. I don't remember any else of the lore. That's it. Popples. I'm gonna do another stuffed animal next. I've got some stuffed animals, I've got some little stuff. So this next thing, this was actually my younger brother Neil's. It's a rhinoceros. It has bananas for his horns. And this was a promotion from Dole. If you can see the tag. And this was a bananimal. I believe that I call this Banoceros because it's a banana rhinoceros. I think they called it something else. I don't think his name is on here. No, but we're gonna call this Banoceros because he is a banana-nosed rhinoceros. The one that I had was Banangaroo, and maybe that's the one that was the banana kangaroo. One of them had a real dumb name. My older brother Andrew had, it was red, might have been like a lion, doesn't make sense. But anyway, so this is Neil's Banoceros. I had the kangaroo whose body was shaped like a banana, and then in its pouch it had a little banana. And the fact that I have this and I don't have the Banangaroo is crazy. But I feel like in the 80s, we were always like mushing things together. Like we had the Wuzzles that had like the elephant butterfly. That's not what it was. Yeah, maybe an elephant butterfly. And like there was the bumblebee lion. So this is kind of like that. We like to put 2 things together. So this was bananas and animals. Odd combination. But Dole, I don't know. I feel like they hit it out of the park because these were pretty fun. I don't know how you would get these if you had to buy bananas, if it was a promotion, or if you could just like send away. Oh, look, he's got a little smile. This was just a little fun. Neil, if you want this, I've got it for you. He's really cute. And maybe someday we'll see my banana kangaroo. All right, next. This is a Rainbow Bright jigsaw puzzle. Is there too much glare? There we go. This is a Rainbow Bright jigsaw puzzle. I loved doing this puzzle. I loved Rainbow Bright. And I know for a fact this puzzle is missing one piece. Because there are afternoons I would just be like, I'm done with school. I'm gonna kick back and do this puzzle on my floor. And I like that it says the typical size piece. The box is taped together because like I use this thing a lot, but that's the typical size piece. There are 300 pieces in this. I really might do this. And I was actually kind of a cheater. I would like do this puzzle all the time, but as you can see, like I would leave certain things like locked together. But it's really great, nice thick pieces. It's got, you know, Rainbow Land. It's got the castle over on the side. It's got Murky and Lurky. Obviously like the nemesis of Rainbow Bright and the Color Kids. It's got all of the Color Kids. It's got Rainbow Bright's Sprite Twink. Somewhere also I have a Twink stuffed animal, so maybe he'll be making a debut someday. I used to love when it was doing the waterfall part of the puzzle. Obviously Starlight is here. And on the back I thought it was nice because it shows you everyone on there, and then it also lists what they are. So there's Murky Dismal, there's Lurky, and their Grunge Buggy. It lists all of the Color Kids. I think Lala Orange or Red Butler is where, or it's, who's 16? Canary Yellow. One of them I think is missing the piece. But it's just so much fun. I really love this. I still love Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealers. Great movie, one of my favorite of all time. I can't help every spring but think of Starlight's song about spring and it's time to wake up. So this is very fun. I'm definitely gonna do this puzzle at some point because it's just a great one. And maybe I'll watch Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealers while I'm doing it. I don't know, there's no reason not to. All right, the next ones, these are like really random little things. Which one to start with? Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. He's dusty, he's weird, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the memory that I have. Okay, it's this little, can you see him? It's this little clown. I already realize I have to get up. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so it's this little green clown, and my memory of this is that it came from the Ground Round, which is where we used to go have birthdays sometimes. The Ground Round, great restaurant. They used to have popcorn on the table, and they might have even had clowns come around at your birthday party, but this guy just sits on the end of your cup. I don't know, are these called glass buddies? I have no idea. And then you would drink and I mean, I guess you could poke yourself in the eye actually, is what just almost happened. So maybe a little dangerous, but yeah, we used to have these little things that would like clip on the edge of your glass. It could be fun if you had different color ones now, like as a grown-up, to keep your drinks separate. Instead of like a wine glass charm, you could have one of these guys. But my memory is that this clown is from one of our parties at the Ground Round. We probably had one party at the Ground Round. I know there was a football player action figure that one of my friends kept throwing in the popcorn. I can't remember who that player is, but my brother Andrew does know. He always has to remind me. I would love to go to a Ground Round. I think John was looking them up and there might be one in like New Jersey, and I would take that trip to go back to Ground Round. I'm sure it doesn't feel the same way it did in like the 80s and 90s, but I still have this little guy. He sits in this thing I have on my dresser. I don't know why, but he's always around. Next, again, just a weird thing that was on my dresser in my old room. This is a Cabbage Patch Kid. Does everybody remember the Cabbage Patch craze of 1985? If not, there might be videos online. I don't know. Just picture any like Black Friday, Walmart, like trampling. That was just happening nationwide anytime a store got Cabbage Patch Kids in. This is a pencil sharpener. I I feel like pencil sharpeners like this were something that kids always had. I guess you had to have a pencil sharpener because you were always writing with pencils in school. But this is my little Cabbage Patch pencil sharpener. That's Cabbage Patch pencil sharpener. That's harder than I thought it would be to say. Cabbage Patch pencil sharpener. Honestly, looks unused. Maybe I never used it. I'm not sure. But I have this, and I had some Cabbage Patch Kids growing up as well. Maybe they'll make a debut. I had one I think was named Isabel. I had a bald baby named Mervin. I had a bald preemie named Chandler something. And then I had twins, and I don't remember what their names were at all. That has nothing to do with what this is, but that's what I remember about my Cabbage Patch Kids. Next, we have, if you can see, this is a stamper. Remember, kids were always getting stampers. They'd come free in cereal. There were those Rescue Rangers ones that came in cereal. This is Orko. Orko is from He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Does this have a date on it? Okay, so this is an Orko stamper. No idea where I got it. And because I wouldn't be doing a video about things I used to own if I didn't start talking about one and then start talking about another. So I have this Orko stamper in my office at work. I still have my Orko action figure. He's pretty cool, so definitely gonna have to bring him for another one. He's got like a little zip pull, because Orko was a ghost. Obviously you can tell this is a ghost. And so you'd pull the zip thing out and he'd go like twirling all around. And his hat used to come off and I used to chew on it. I don't know, kids do weird things. I feel like I always had Orko items because until She-Ra came along, the 80s were a weird time. So I think He-Man was technically considered a boys TV show because they only had, like, Teela was the girl until it was revealed that He-Man had a twin sister, She-Ra, and then she had her whole series of action figures. But Orko was kind of like this gender neutral, like it's okay for a girl to play with this Orko. So I feel like that's, also I probably was obsessed with him, I don't know. But I feel like that's why I had a bunch of Orko stuff. Honestly, I'm not mad about it. Also, coming up, we do have in my mom's attic, I know for a fact, I think it's like an old toolbox filled with old He-Man action figures. It's got He-Man, it's got Skeletor, it's got Trapjaw, it's got Battle Cat / Cringer. That's gonna be a fun box to open. But I don't know, maybe I'll get a stamp pad so that I can this can be like my seal. You know it came from me if it's got my Orko seal of approval. All right, lastly, this is something I talk about a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why. Sometimes I bring up weird things, and this is one of those things that I'm always fondly reminiscing about. And it's my Clowny million color stick. They had these things, I don't know if it was the 80s or the 90s. Unfortunately, I lost the lid to mine, so it's dried out and doesn't really color. But it's a crayon, but it's like all of the colors swirled together, and you could just twist it up and color with this million color stick. They also had, and I never had them but wanted them, they had tips that you could put on your fingers so you could draw with your fingertips with Clowny tips. And it was amazing. And this says it was made in 1984. I believe it. But this is Clowny. If anybody remembers Clowny, please let me know, because this is something that I feel like I feel like I'm the only person that had it, which can't be true because I vividly remember the commercials of those fingertip ones. So I know people had to be buying it. Someone out there remembers Clowny. Yes, so I'm so excited to share that with everyone else on the internet in case nobody does remember. So I'm not out here alone, we're here together. And these are some really an odd collection of things that I still own from the 80s and 90s. Anyway, thank you for watching. Once again, this has been a blast. I love to look at old stuff and talk about it, especially because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that remembers this stuff. I know that's not true. There's definitely people that remember this stuff. There's probably people that remember more about this stuff, but thank you for watching. There will definitely be more of these. I don't know when I'll get to raid my mom's house again, but that is a well that will, I mean, it's gonna take years to dry up. So hopefully people stay interested in this. And so thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments about what I showed today, make sure to leave them in a comment box down below. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.